Welcome, this is lesson 72 in Saxon's Algebra 1/2, the second edition book. This lesson is going to cover a couple of things. It's going to cover absolute value and negative numbers and how to add signed numbers, which means negative and positive. Alright, so let's start with absolute value. Absolute value is actually a distance. On a number line, -3 is actually 3 units from the 0 point, the origin. +4 is also 4 units away from the origin. So we can say that the absolute value of -3 is 3. It's 3 units. And the absolute value of 4 is 4 because it's 4 units. Okay? So anytime you see these two vertical lines around a number, that means absolute value, and just think of it as distance from 0. This is going to always, absolute value is always positive. Look at this, I gave you this to help you remember. Absolute values won't put up with any negativity. Put any value but 0. It doesn't work with 0 because 0 is the origin. Put any value but 0 behind bars, and the results will always be absolutely positive. Put it behind bars, it's going to be a positive outcome. Okay, now here are some signed number rules that I found, and I thought they were just honestly so easy for explaining this. I'm going to also put them in the next lesson, lesson 73, because it's going to be about visualizing signed numbers. But here's the rules. When you're adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers, if you have two signs that are alike, whether it be two positives or two negatives, you're going to always add, and you'll keep the sign. If you have different signs, like one positive and one negative, it's always going to be a subtraction problem, and so you're going to subtract and then take the sign of the larger number. If the larger number was positive, when you subtract, your answer is going to be positive. If the larger number was negative, you subtract and your answer is going to be negative. Look at these examples. Alright, you've got same sign here. 2 plus 3 is 5. Let me change out of that red. 2 plus 3, this is +2, +3 equals +5. We're adding. -2 and -3, same sign, so we're going to add, and we're going to take that sign, okay, -5. In these two examples, we have a negative and a positive, so it's going to be subtraction. So 3 minus 2 is 1, and we're going to take the sign of the larger number, which is 3, and it's negative. Here again, 3 minus 2 is 1. In this case, the larger number is positive, so our answer is going to be positive. Alright, let's look at some number lines. This should help you visualize this whole thing. If I start from 0, always start from 0, and I go +2, which is 2 units to the right of 0, and then I go -5, what I'm actually doing then is subtracting 5. So I'm going 5 back to the left from this 2, and I end up at -3. So 2 plus -5 is -3. You could also say you've got 2 and -5. You're subtracting 5 minus 2 is 3, and then 5 is larger than 2, so and it's negative, so we're going to leave a negative answer. In this example, we have 2 negatives, so we're going to be adding. In other words, we're going the same way both times on the number line. We're not going opposite directions. So we start at 0, we go 2 to the left, that's -2, and then 3 more to the left, -3, and we're going to end up at -5. So we've added those two. We've added 2 and 3, and they were both negative, so like sign. our answer is going to be negative, and it's when we add 2 and 3, we're going to get 5. Let's look at some practice problems. I've already drawn these out for you. Your book tells you to sketch these out quickly on a number line, come up with a solution. So I've done that for you, and I use different colors of ink in my pen to help you see. Green is always going to be positive, and red is going to be negative. So this is positive 2 and negative 4. If I start at 0 and I go positive 2 to the right from 0, and then from there I'm going to go back 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Where do I end up? I end up at negative 2. Alright, doing it the way we just said, let's see. I want to get my lines right. We have opposite signs, so we're going to be subtracting. 4 minus 2 is 2, and the 4 was negative, so we're going to give that a negative. Okay, I want you to be able to see this both ways. Alright, this one we also have two different signs. You see 2 different colors here. I'm going to start at negative 2. I start from 0, and I go 2 to the left, and then from there I'm going to go 4 to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I end up at positive 2. Again, if you did it the way the other way we said, you've got 4 minus 2 is 2, and 4 is the larger number, and it is positive, so our answer would be positive 2. Alright, in C we have like signs. We have 2 negative numbers that we're going to add together, so we're always going to be going left on the number line. So we started at 0, and we went 2 to the left, and then we went 3 more to the left. Where did we end up? We ended up at negative 5. Like signs, you're adding. 2 plus 3 is 5. Both signs are negative, so we're going to keep a negative sign. In this example, both numbers are positive, so we are adding. We start at 0, we go 2 to the right, and then 3 more to the right, and we end up at positive 5. And we, again, 2 plus 3 is 5. They're both positive, so our answer is going to be positive. Alright, good job. Make sure you put all of this in your notes, and then tomorrow in lesson 72, we're going to continue this thought of adding the signed numbers.